since it was a disease for homosexuals. Plus, we were in our 20s. We didn't think we could die at all. We ran over a bump, and I was rudely jolted out of my reverie. "Not much," I answered Mrs. Kirk a little timidly. "I know it calls itself the nation's oldest city. I know it was here that Ponce de Leon came to look for the legendary Fountain of Youth. I know the city of St. Augustine is home to the Fountain of Youth National Archaeological Park, a tribute to the spot where Ponce de Leon is traditionally said to have landed. Though there is no evidence that the fountain located in the park today is the storied fountain or has any restorative effects, visitors drink the water. The park exhibits native and colonial artifacts to celebrate St. Augustine's Timucuan and Spanish heritage." Mrs. Kirk looked at me with a small, impressed smile. "Very well. You have done your homework. Dr. Kirk will be pleased to hear that you have not come unprepared." "My dad gave me a book on Florida to read on the plane. I have a photographic memory. I remember things easily. It helps me a lot in school." I stared out the window at swamps and what seemed to me like wild-growing bushes and forests. I was desperately hoping to catch a glimpse of an alligator, an animal I had never seen before, and which I had been told you can find in pretty much every water hole in Florida. I was deeply fascinated by creatures of the wild, by predators of any kind. But as a city boy, I had only seen them behind their bars at the zoo, never in the wild. By now, we had passed several water holes, and I had still not seen any, to my great disappointment. It felt like my headband was getting tighter, and I was sweating in my tight jeans and jacket with shoulder pads and rolled-up sleeves. I took the jacket off and put it in my lap. Florida was a lot warmer than I had expected it to be, and a lot more humid too. I wasn't used to this kind of heat, coming from a country where we would be lucky to have 3 weeks of summer. I still remember the feeling when I stepped out of the airplane in the Orlando airport for the first time. It felt like someone had taken a winter jacket and swept me in it, like the air itself was hugging me and welcoming me home. I remember sweating just from walking from the airport to the big black Mercedes that Mrs. Kirk picked me up in. She cranked up the air conditioning, and I soon felt a little cooler. I touched the nice leather seats and suddenly felt so insignificant. Coming from a rich family, by Danish standards, I was used to some luxury, yet I had never been in a car like this. "Well, maybe you'll have to think about losing some of those unruly curls once you become a doctor," Mrs. Kirk said. I touched my hair gently. I liked my blonde curls and had let them grow past my ears, and I wasn't the only one who liked them. The girls did too. Along with my deep-set blue eyes, my curls were my finest features. Why parents and others older than 35 insisted they wanted me to cut them off was beyond me. My dad was the worst. "You look like a savage," he would say, but I didn't care. Deciding what I was going to do for a living was one thing, but he wasn't going to change the way I looked too. He was the one who wanted me to go to med school, not me. All I wanted to do was play my acoustic guitar. "But you can't make a living out of just playing that guitar. You need to grow up, Chris. It's about time," my father said, just before he told me his plans for me. It wasn't like he gave me a choice. I was going to take over the family practice. It had always been his dream for me, ever since I was a child, so I never questioned it, simply because it would break his heart. I never said no to my father in these matters, and I didn't argue when he told me he was going to send me away for a year either. Instead, I decided to make the best of it. "We're almost there," Mrs. Kirk sang. "It's right at the end of this road." She took a turn, and we entered a small road with around 8 homes. They were nothing like the houses I was used to in my hometown of Odense in Denmark. The town where Hans Christian Andersen was born had old houses, some of them dating to the 1600s. They were small and leaning. The house my father and I had lived in was newer, though, from the beginning of the 1900s. It was an old villa, with high ceilings and stucco in a very lucrative neighborhood on the right side of the river, as they said. Why that was so important, I never understood.